If you don't control your day will control you. Here I am, 8 in the morning, in probably my favorite city, San Francisco. You know, I should be still sleeping. I was catching up on sleep since last night, but this is part of the video. This is called discipline. And if I set my mind into doing something, I'll do it. Even if I have to get up early and feel uncomfortable, but I'm gonna push through it because that's all discipline is about. This is one of my favorite parks here. Whenever I'm here with Timmy, we walk every morning, and I'm just so used to walking multiple times a day outside with him that whenever I get a chance to get out of a place that I'm staying at, or if I have time between shoots, I always go walk somewhere because it's part of my daily habit. I wish he was here now. He would love the juicy green grass here, but he's having fun with his friends. When people talk about discipline, they always try to associate it with just working out, but as it may be the easier example to talk about, it's not the only thing that should be involving discipline. Of course, every day there is something we don't want to do. There is something that is just non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth, right? How many people really want to brush their teeth? I mean, it's disgusting when you don't get me wrong. I do it multiple times a day. Every time I eat, I try to brush my teeth. I even travel with the little toothbrush because it's important. Hygiene is important, but that's kind of a habit that it's non-negotiable, and it's part of a discipline. So just by showing up at the gym every day or every other day, however you want to fit it your schedule, that's part of a discipline and should be a non-negotiable habit that you include next to brushing your teeth. And if you want to be even more disciplined, of course you pack it up. There should be more non-negotiable levels like that. For some people it's daily meditation. For other people it can be eating healthy, cooking from home every day. It can be anything. Packing it up like that makes the discipline grow so much easier, because you don't have to think about it. You just tie your non-negotiable habits all together. Not saying you're doing them at once, but you know what I mean. You just have a certain list that you just never get rid of. Even for me, so let's say example with the workouts, even if I have an early flight, I try to go to an early class or do some kind of a movement for my body, just so I can be able to move my body that day. Even if it's after landing, I go for a long walk or go to the gym if I'm in the hotel that has it. It's the non-negotiable habit I made with myself, the non-negotiable contract with my body and my mind, because I just feel so much better when I move my body. So that's the sporty discipline aspect. And I'm out of breath because, you know, Haley is always here and I love it. But it's not just about moving your body. It's of course about eating healthy, having standards for your body and self-respect, because that is all part of a disciplined person. So the key is to start with one non-negotiable anchor point. Let's say we got through that whole brushing teeth routine and, you know, stuff that you just do daily, wash your face, stuff like that. But add to it that movement for yourself, for your body. Add to it maybe journaling because it helps your mind. Add to it one anchor point that you can start today and not let go of for maybe the rest of your life. With one anchor point, you're anchored in your discipline journey, and that's the step one, the first step to be a really disciplined person. It has to start somewhere. It can be small, just like those examples I just given you, but start somewhere. And that non-negotiable habit can be called brush your teeth energy or something. I don't know, just, you know, something that you really anchor by. For me is the gym. For you it can be something totally different, but start somewhere. One habit, non-negotiable, you do it every day because it's good for your body, mind and spirit. Discipline is just like an internal GPS. It helps you avoid being distracted. It keeps you on track. It makes you more successful in what you want to accomplish. It makes the life way better to orient in, just like with the correct GPS. So make your GPS work for you, reset it if you need to, program it the way you want it to, but treat it like a GPS. Discipline is your internal GPS. I forget I had to set up an alarm here because I'm getting picked up for a shoot, so I can't ramble here for too long, but good thing I thought about it now. I always have my phone on silent till a certain time of the day. I think it's like 11:11 when the silence ends, and at night I set it till like 8:08. Don't ask me about the numbers, I'm just being random with that. But it's nice to have a phone on silent. I don't see any distractions, and I want to distract myself if I look on it on my own, so that helps my mind. Maybe you do it too. I think it's a great feature. But besides the point, let's move to the topic of strength. We all know that muscles are built from tearing and repairing, and same goes for character. So whenever you go through something hard, expect to grow from it, especially if you learn. If you don't learn, you may have to do it all over again in a later time or right away. Who knows? But it's all about getting stronger at the end of the day. Being strong also means having your standard of the way people treat you, the people that you hang around with, how they treat your time. If they waste your time, you let them go. If they're toxic for your energy, you let them go. That is called strength, because you should always put yourself first. Is this relationship good for me? Is this conversation good for me? Is this giving me anything? Is this good for my progress? Is hanging out with these people good for my advancement? Is this kind of work the work I want to do for the rest of my life? Is this habit serving the future me? Stuff like that. So you gotta ask yourself, am I using my strength wisely? Am I being strong with my decisions? Am I building the inner strength to be a better version of me every day? Funny story, this comes to mind when it comes to strength and standards. So I went to this event recently, and it wasn't my kind of thing, my kind of vibe. I did not enjoy myself at all, but I'm like, okay, not everything has to be my jam. And like I always tell people, try something new, and either regret it later or learn from it later, but give it a try before you judge it. So I give it a try, it doesn't hurt, but I did not have a good time. So what did I do? I left, because why would I be there for others people's pleasure if I'm not having a good time? Would I just, even if I stay a couple hours longer, what would it change in me? It would make me more miserable. So as a strong-willed person that knows what she likes and doesn't like, I just left. And I don't want to hear people saying, oh, but I don't want to make somebody feel bad, or the organizer, or my friends there, blah, 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 they relied on me to be there, blah, blah. If you're not having a good time, leave. Same goes to dates, I hear so many stories about this catfishing stuff, where people go and the person that they meet online, it doesn't fit the image that they see in person. So anytime they talk about it, and this comes from even people that I personally know, it happens all the time to a lot of men, surprisingly, and they all say the same thing. I didn't want to make the person feel bad. I wanted to be a gentleman, and I just stayed there and paid for the date and just went about my business because I knew I'm never gonna see her again. If I'm the guy and a woman catfishes me, I'm leaving. You already wasted my time by like pulling me by my nose, telling me that you're this but you're actually that, and now you have the audacity to show up like this. Either you 50 pounds heavier, or you look like 40-year-old older than the pictures that you sent me. It's so disrespectful. So a guy that has a respect for himself, he would have left. I don't care what you say about, I don't want to make the other people feel bad. This is about you and respecting your boundaries. This is also part of the strength that you gotta cultivate within yourself, because if somebody has the audacity to disrespect you like that, waste your time and energy and lie, and you still stay there, I mean, who's the loser there? Who's the loser? So I would never let anybody catfish me like that. Did people show up looking different on my dates? Yeah, they looked up much shorter. Whenever you see a guy saying he's 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", which is closer to my height, but it's still, you know, shorter than me, it means they're even shorter than that. So I got used to that. I don't mind when people are shorter, but at the same time, don't lie about this stuff. It's so stupid. You make yourself feel so insecure, or make yourself look so insecure. It's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Don't do that. But yeah, part of building a strength is knowing your standards, stay by it, and if you don't like something, change it. If you don't like where you are, change it. If you don't like where you live, move. If you don't like the company you're around, leave. Nobody's forcing you to do these kind of things and stay and make yourself feel miserable. I don't understand it. And this whole thing, how I left the event, everybody was looking at me like, wow, it's kind of early for you to leave, like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm just not having a good time, so I'm going, you know. It's nothing personal, but if it's not my jam, it's not my jam. I don't feel bad about it, but it showed me that this is so much more, you know, it's more me to go to places that I actually enjoy being around, instead of wasting my time somewhere where it just doesn't feed my soul. Another part of becoming stronger, and not just physically, but mentally, is having an emotional, I want to say discipline, but that would go for the first topic. Having emotional regulation and not getting upset over nothing, or, you know, it's just not worth it. I feel like a lot of people, and me included, I'm still learning this too, need to self-regulate better and not let ourselves get angry over stupid stuff. It doesn't serve us, it makes our blood pressure higher. It's just not healthy. So I'm all about being healthier, better every day, and getting angry over nonsense or worked up over something that's not in my best interest. Why would I do that to myself? Why? Even if somebody, let's say somebody lies to you or does wrong to you, at the end of the day, they just did you a favor. They showed you their true colors, and they're not worth of being part of your journey. So let them go. Of course you're gonna be upset. That's a natural way to deal with stuff as a human, but don't get so worked up. People come and go, and I see a lot of these things as favors to me. I don't see it as, you know, of course those people can be snakes and they wanted to do me wrong, blah blah blah, but the best thing for me is just to let it go and not even get worked up over it. So that's what I mean by emotional strength. You just have to be more like a rock and not let things bother you so much. At the end of the day, you don't want to be made out of sugar. So work on being a little stronger in that department, day by day. It's not gonna happen overnight. And I just want to add to it, also overreacting and even reacting to everything is emotional weakness, because a lot of times under pressure is the best to just stay calm. Just like when with the car you drive through some puddle, and you know, if you react emotionally and just out of impulsiveness, you're gonna start swerving the car and get into an accident and end up in even a worse situation than if you just let the car go for a few seconds and don't panic. And same goes for emotions. Just don't overreact. Don't be a drama queen, or save it for that time of the month, you know, for a few days and go vent somewhere. But overall, not good, even for guys. So strength and power can be seen as similar. Strength is to know when to walk away. Strength is to know when you had enough and have standards for yourself that you're just not gonna violate. So yeah, that's all that comes to my mind at 8 a.m. in the morning right now. That's kind of, it's not too much. The last part of this video I wanted to talk about swagger, and that goes hand in hand, because once you build those two that I mentioned, discipline and strength, the swagger comes almost naturally. And swagger is magnetic. It's the authenticity. I have a hard time with this word, but that's what draws people in. If you like art, you're gonna like the saying, but swagger is like an art of owning your own energy. So yeah, we're all artists, we create our own life, that's an art of itself. So start putting some energy into creating your own swagger, your own authentic self, and mold it into a better version every day. Because we have to all start somewhere. Somebody starts from ground zero, somebody starts plus 20, you know, we all have different start points, but it doesn't define you. It's just a starting point. It all can be changed and modified later. I believe a lot of people forget about this, but even the way your posture is and the way you walk shows and tells so much about personality. I've been noticing this for so many years, and I always tell people, like, look at, you know, this person, how they walk, they have so much on their mind, like they look so depressed. Or the way that person walks, they think they own the world. Wow, they have so much confidence. So just the way you carry yourself without even speaking or looking at your face, just the way you walk and hold yourself, you can tell so much about personality and personal swagger. It's unbelievable once you start noticing how it's actually so fitting. So one way to improve your swagger is to hold yourself a little higher. So one way to fix your swagger is to fix your posture. It all starts with simple things, and posture can be one of those things that literally changes your life inside out. This is such a nice green background. I love these colors. Of course, I don't know how this is all gonna look on a bigger screen, but in the camera, so nice, so nice. So real swagger isn't about the clothes you wear. Look at me. Do you think like this is a swagger outfit? No, it's a San Francisco uniform basically. But I still feel confident. I can be walking in a trash bag, but I still have my own swagger to worry about. So the clothes don't define you at all. When you stop trying to fit some social norms and societal expectations and vibe, I think you actually become the vibe. You are in your own lane, your own vibe. If you just create your own, if you just follow trends and, you know, do what everybody does, you're just becoming one of them, which is not a bad thing. We all want to be community, and you know, it's a beautiful on its own when you're inspired by something and you want to do it too. But at the same time, if you don't put your own spin on it, like just an example of fashion, you're just becoming a copy of somebody else. You're wearing somebody else's idea, and it's not inspiring anymore. It's just you're inspiring to be a copycat. I don't find it attractive. Same goes with personality and character, but this all comes back to being authentic, doing what feels right to you. Once you start doing it more and more and actually listening to your intuition, it's like any other muscle. It starts being better and more reliable. Like I said earlier, swagger really is like a byproduct of building a discipline, sticking to it, and building a strength out of it too. So put those two together and you get swagger. I know it's easier said than done, and it may be easier for some people than others, especially if you're more on the shy side or you're very unsure of yourself, or you were raised in a really abusive environment. You know, there's so many scenarios that, you know, one formula just doesn't fit for everybody. But starting with the posture, knowing what you like and don't like, what you're gonna put up with and what you don't, what is non-negotiable habit that you're proud of that you started doing, you know, all those things add up. And I know I'm kind of repeating myself, so I'm sorry if it's getting a little boring, but that's all you gotta know from this video. It was supposed to be short, so I have about 13 minutes to go back to my location. Wish me luck and see me in the next video.